Hello and welcome. Here I review movies, and today's film is The Young Woman in the Sea. It's a historical drama about the first woman to swim the English Channel. It's based on a book written by Glenn Stout and was adapted into a screenplay by Jeff Nathanson. Joachim Roning directed the film, which stars Daisy Ridley as Trudy Erderly, Stephen Graham as Bill Burgess, and Christopher Eccleston as Jabez Wolfe. To begin, let's start with the positives. This is a feel-good story about a notable figure and includes a lot of inspirational music, some decent acting, and a clear visual journey. We start off with Trudy as a young girl, sick with the measles, and follow her all the way through her life to her swim across the channel. We meet the notable figures around her, spend a bit of time on the highlight moments of her career, and go over a little bit of her family life. The general cast does a great job of portraying the wacky characters in her life like Ben Burgess or her strict but passionate mother, or the devious Mr. Wolfe. They're mostly playing caricatures with a bit of nuance to them, and they do a fantastic job of bringing the characters and the setting to life. The visual journey takes us through Trudy's early years learning to swim at a local pool, shows us a bit of her home life at the butcher shop, and then focuses heavily on her journey across the channel in the second half of the film. The journey is clear and easy to follow and has a lot of nice shots of the ocean and water in general. They also did a good job of putting everyone into retro clothes and creating sets that embodied the era. For music, they had scored instrumentals that closely follow the story and add a ton of emotion. The music tends to sound a bit more classical and adds a wondrous and inspirational quality. It also really highlights the dangerous moments and brings out a ton of sadness. The scored tracks sound like they come from a full orchestra, and they're prominent, featuring in every single scene and bringing most of the film's emotion to the table. Which brings me to the negatives. To begin, the story is both boring and sloppily told. For some reason, they decided that the best way to tell this woman's story was to create 15 montages and put them together to make the first hour. We don't spend any actual time with Trudy or her family. Instead, we get the Cliff Notes version of their lives and how she came to be a swimmer. Even her time in the Olympics ends up being skipped over and done in montage form. It's lazy and makes it next to impossible to build any rapport with the characters, especially Trudy. They even montaged sections of her journey across the channel and made it feel like a highlight reel rather than a movie. Because they never build any stakes or develop Trudy, there's nothing to get attached to. You don't care about Trudy or her goals, and crossing the channel doesn't seem like that big of a deal. Basically, the only reason to keep watching is to say you finished the film. The cast also misses out on a lot of opportunities because of the writing and the lack of big character building moments. You had actors like Eccleston, Graham, Hain, and Bodnia doing their damnedest to play their roles, but they just never got to do a big enough speech or express enough emotion to be memorable. There were even moments where we could have had a big speech or a really emotional moment, but the film chose not to depict them. Instead, they jumped past those moments with a quick how do you do and move on to the next big moment in her life. Finally, the visual journey lacks big standout moments. The closest they come is during the jellyfish scene when they have the ocean turn red for a bit. Other than that, it's just basic conversations, normal editing, and a setting that isn't all that impressive. There are no dramatic moments, and even during the race, most of what you see are shots of a woman doing the front crawl in choppy waters. As it is, there's a lot of repetitive imagery, and it doesn't do a good job of getting across just how dangerous the journey is. If you're into inspirational movies, there are better versions of it out there. If you really wanted to learn about Trudy Erderly, you should probably just check her Wikipedia. As for a rating, I'd give this film a 4 out of 10. Remember, these are just my thoughts on the film. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Bye-bye.